Large parts of India and Pakistan are on high alert as a cyclone approaches. Authorities in both countries have evacuated more than 150,000 people from coastal areas as Cyclone Biparjoy barrels in from the Arabian Sea. Schools and government buildings are being used to shelter displaced people. The storm is expected to make landfall at around 8 p.m. local time.
Going by official predictions, these waters will only get rougher as the coastal parts of India and Pakistan brace for impact. They are warning of the imminent arrival of the cyclone named Biparjoy, the Bengali word for disaster. Authorities fear the cyclone could cause heavy rains and flooding as it makes landfall. Here in Pakistan, the coastal communities which suffered deadly floods last year are again the most vulnerable. Tens of thousands have been evacuated. Some of them have been settled in this relief center. They feel safe for now, but there is a constant worry about the homes they have left behind.
My concern is when the cyclone is over, how will we feed our children? If our boats are gone, if the huts are gone, we will be languishing with no resources.
Officials say they are prepared for a post-landfall emergency.
According to reports we've received so far, around 75 relief camps have already been established there. The Pakistan Army with Rangers and the district administration have set up these camps with a prominent lead by the Sindh government and the federal government department helping them.
Evacuations are also happening in neighboring Western India.
There's heavy rainfall now. We've done evacuations of coastal areas and low-lying areas, and they've been moved to shelter homes.
Authorities say more than 1 million people are likely to be affected in the state of Gujarat. Officials in the South Asian countries say climate change is at play, leaving their communities vulnerable to frequent and intense weather events.
Let's now bring in Pakistan's Minister for Poverty Alleviation now. Shazia Mari is joining us while visiting Berlin. Now, can you tell us first what you are actually expecting and how Pakistan has been preparing?
Well, thank you very much. As I am here to attend a global conference on adaptive social protection here in Berlin, my focus and my concern is for the people of Pakistan, particularly the areas that are going to be hit as a result of the cyclone. And I was listening to the report. I feel that not only this situation is alarming, but due to climate change at play, and cyclones happening or being predicted to take place in the Arabian Sea is going to be a challenge for countries like Pakistan and others. And as we know that Pakistan is now amongst the 10 most vulnerable countries that are expected to be affected by this whole climate change reality. We've faced a very devastating flood just last year in 2022, where 33 million people were displaced. Prior to this, if we talk about this particular situation, a cyclone situation, this too has occurred in Pakistan back in 1999. And unfortunately, evacuation did not take place then, which is why, according to a rough estimate, around 3,000 people lost their lives. So the kind of response and the kind of efforts that are being taken today by all the agencies that were mentioned in the report, and particularly the government of Sindh taking lead in the operation, I believe this is very important. And
can I interrupt you there briefly and come back to my original questions? Do you think that you've done everything you can to prepare for the landfall of this cyclone?
Like I said, and the reason that I drew a comparison or this reference that I made to 1999, when efforts were not made, or probably the seriousness was not understood. But now when we see climate change affecting the world the way it is, and Pakistan included, so the efforts that are taken Look, no effort is enough because we really can't understand until something like this hits us. But the kind of efforts or the measures that are have been taken, I feel that they are satisfactory, and 99% of the people in the vulnerable areas have been evacuated. And my report is that I was listening to your report by the reporter, but there is a slight sort of difference in the report that I have as to when it's going to hit. So I just made a phone call back home and spoke with the administration, and they tell me 11 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time is the expected time. So it's going to be between the border of Pakistan and India. We are not sure as to where exactly the landfall is. But we've made our preparations. So we can't even rely on reports when, we hear that, fine, we are not under threat anymore. We still have to take necessary measures. And the most affected, because as you have also gotten reports, like more than 77,000 people have been evacuated so far. And the most vulnerable in terms of where it's going to hit, it's Sujawal, then it's going to be Thatta, Badin, and ultimately it's Tharparkar. So all of these areas on the coastal belt included have to be monitored. And when if you didn't ask me, but I would like to also give you an estimate, a rough estimate of what is the kind of population we're looking at in these areas. It's about 20 million. And another 20 million approximately in the city of Karachi, though the cyclone is not hitting, but the impact of cyclone is going to be experienced in the city of Karachi, which is heavy rain, winds, and you know how metropolis is. I mean, any metropolis. So it's a big challenge. We are still not sure what are the real sort of effects that we are going to be seeing, but all is being predicted. And in light of all predictions and reports or expert opinions, we are taking necessary measures. And up till now, I think the measures are very satisfactory. And I heard about the camps from the local administration. There is another 100 relief camps on standby. So if there's a need, there'll be more relief camps. Then there are almost 87 medical units in the field. The area of KT Bandar Islands, they are, as of now, either completely or to a great extent inundated. So I'm just telling you the situation right now. 153 ambulances are deployed. More will be deployed if the need be. Almost 9,000 animals have been rescued so far. So, the government is doing its best in terms of preparation or whatever precautions they have to take. And, they're raising alarms and they're telling people. There's a lot of awareness. The Chief Minister of Sindh province, that is the vulnerable province now, he's out on the ground with his cabinet, with public representatives. So I believe that this kind of awareness and this kind of, realization is definitely going to help us manage the impact. Like I said, in 1999, because there was not much awareness, not much done, so we lost almost 3,000 people. We don't want to go through another catastrophe. We've been still sort of not only faced, but trying to recover from the last year's flood. And we do see that this is happening to our region and our country in particular. So, I would like to also call upon the international community to sort of think seriously what a country like Pakistan is going through.
Shazia Mari there, the Minister for Poverty Alleviation of Pakistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And let's bring in DW's Delhi Bureau Chief Amrita Cheema. Nice to see you too. Amrita, tell us, this cyclone is churning across the northeastern Arabian Sea and has been since late last week. Is it going to pack such a punch as forecasters do believe?
Well, the weather experts have been describing it as an extreme severe cyclonic storm, and it's been bearing down towards India's western coast for the past few days, as you mentioned. And, the winds have come down a little bit, but forecasters say they could increase again before it makes landfall and go up to about 130 kilometers per hour, and with wind gusts could even go up to 145 kilometers per hour. Waves of 3 to 6 meters high are forecast. Extreme and heavy rain is expected. Low-lying areas have been given flood warnings, and a local official said actually they're really on war footing. They're putting all their effort to make sure that they can minimize any damage that this extreme severe storm can cause.
Well, tell me more about the preparation before this cyclone impacts the coast, because, getting out that many people, alerting that many people and getting them out safely is a huge task.
In fact, there was an astronaut, Ben, who took some images of this cyclone, and they look really kind of grim. The situation is quite bad. So the authorities are doing all in their power to ensure that people are safe. The national and state disaster response agencies are on high alert. Local village volunteers, volunteer groups have also been mobilized. Food packages have been prepared for those who might get stranded. They have also moved, as you mentioned, tens of thousands of people. They've evacuated them inland. So I think they're doing all they can, but they're hoping that this will, all these measures that they are taking will minimize damage and, very importantly, minimize loss of life.
Yeah, let's hope people are heeding those warnings. Our Delhi Bureau Chief, Amrita Cheema, thank you very much.